Hi everybody, this is Midweek at Maine. Our Midweek at Maine videos are gospel reflections for everyday life. This is a simple attempt during the middle of our week to reflect back on what we learned together as a church family on our time together Sunday, whether you joined us online or were able to be here in person. The reality that we experienced this last week was that as we think about our living hope in the resurrection, Jesus' resurrection, what comes with it is an incredible amount of resources that if we would just reflect on them, we would be able to not only engage, but confidently overcome any of the experiences we find in our life, either difficult or too difficult to face without it. Our exile life, again, exiles are the audience Peter writes to, folks who are seemingly in a strange place in their life, a strange place in their experiences, where they belong to a different land, a different set of values. And for the Christian life, wherever you are on earth, wherever you are in the season of life, exile defines it best, because our citizenship is in heaven. Now, here's what that doesn't mean. That doesn't mean that we passively try to meander through this life and just hold on hopeful to finally be released from here. You see, heaven is dwelling within you. And I realize that sounds awfully peculiar, but I want to simplify what Jesus was doing in a way that I think you can tangibly do something with right here, right now, today. Our lives are governed by their end. The reason that you try to stay so healthy, do so many things, stay so comfortable, is because we know deep down at the core level of how much we treasure our lives. And when we realize that our lives are on a ticking clock, there's a level of fear that's built into our day that day that we're experiencing now, once spent, is never enjoyed again. And we see this when our kids get older or our family members enter into their twilight years, as you might call it, or some of us might lose our hair as we get older. I've read about it, sounds terrible. Either way, what we know is that we treasure our lives. So does God, which is why He's done something for our lives you can't do, I can't do. And we try through all sorts of means every day. How we protect our reputation as a way of justifying our value and making ourselves feel and experience at least the most that we can squeeze out of the days we have. What if that's no longer necessary? A living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. Jesus rose from the dead and never died again. Jesus is still alive, just as much as He was the day He revealed the nail holes in His hands to the Apostle Thomas. That's where I want to leave things for you today. I have no idea how challenging the doubts in your life might feel, or even just how hard the experiences you're facing right now affect your day-to-day living. I want to read something very quickly to you from a story about Thomas's experience in the Gospel of John. The resurrection of Jesus gives you resources and power in your daily thinking, in your daily life right now, to totally change your viewpoint about God's love for you right here, right now. You see, in that moment that Thomas was with the other disciples on the mountain in Galilee, talking with Jesus after the resurrection, Thomas doubted. Thomas had questions. Thomas wasn't sure if what he was seeing made sense. And for some of you, the wavering in and out of true faith in Jesus, believing He is who He says He is, believing that the Holy Spirit is going to do in your life what He says He will do, and that the resurrection for you is coming, that death has no sting anymore in your life, that the realities of sin are in fact able to subside. You have power to walk away from addiction. You have power living in you through prayer and obedience to Jesus to totally transform everything about you. You can forgive. You can be generous. Even in poverty, you can give and care and do things that in the past would have made no sense. But because of the resurrection, through the resurrection of Jesus, you can change everything. So Thomas's experience with Jesus went something like this. He originally wanted to see the wounds as evidence of Jesus' power. Now he saw them for what they were, what they really were. They were evidence not so much of Jesus' power, although that's true. It changed and struck Thomas because now these are evidences of Jesus' love. You see, the wounds are not simply evidence that I'm alive, Jesus says. They are proof that I died for you, that your debt was fully paid, and that the power of death over you is broken forever. It is when we look at it not as a mere display of supernatural power, but instead as the climax of our story, of our salvation, as the final defeat of our two greatest enemies, sin and death. That is when the resurrection becomes the most compelling for our hearts. That is what happened to Thomas. Church at Maine, a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ. 1 Peter is our letter for us to live an in-transit life because we have a destination. It's already living inside of us. Walk in it. The resurrection life is yours now. Have a great week. We'll see you Sunday morning right here at 10 a.m.